What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to the podcast, God of Miracles podcast. Here with my bro, Wes Landers. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? I'm good, Andrew. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm great. Doing great. Excited to be
Good.
here. Excited to,
Absolutely, man.
catch up with you.
Yeah. It's been a minute, man. The holidays was a little crazy. Did y'all have good Christmas, New
It
Year, all that?
was.
That's
Yes,
good.
it was
That's
good. It was
good.
busy too,
Yeah.
like you said a few minutes ago.
Crazy,
Yeah,
but hey,
talking
it's
about
good.
talking about life. Wes and his little boy just shot a nice buck together. His
Yes,
first
we
year.
did.
It's his first year. That's pretty
Yes.
exciting.
New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was a blast. So
big
yeah, it's
fish are
awesome.
biting for me, and I
Let's
missed the
go.
deer with my bow. So
Need some redemption.
rookie mistake. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Thank y'all for coming back to the podcast.
Yeah.
Psalm 77:14 says, "You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples." And we're just wanting to share some miracle stories, some testimonies, some things to encourage you of what God's done in our lives and people's lives that we have on the podcast. So if you haven't listened to the previous podcasts, give those a listen. There's been some really cool,
Yeah.
amazing stories shared.
Yeah.
But we're
Powerful.
excited. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
bringing
we
you
are.
real life miracle stories with this podcast, and we are your hosts. So, with that, tonight we're going to share a couple testimony stories and God stories from our own lives.
Yeah.
I'm
Excited.
excited.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is.
me and Andrew were talking about who we gonna have on, what we gonna do next, and I just kinda we both love evangelism. We both love me, Andrew and I've been on the streets together, and we're gonna share some of that stories too. And just it's like, man, let's encourage people. Share some things that not people think you got to go on a certain mission trip or you got to be this, that, or the other to minister and to see God move. But it's like just being willing, and just being where He's called you to be, and whether that be your workplace or a gas station or downtown
Yeah,
Nashville, like you're going to hear in some of these stories. So it's just like, man, it's so cool that God wants to use us in our everyday lives if we're willing to be, His mouthpiece and just be obedient, and see what He does, because it's incredible. So I'm excited to share some of those stories of what God's done, and hopefully encourage you guys in your faith to want to be bolder and to want to share your testimonies and just be His hands and feet. So I'm excited, fired
that's
up.
right. That's right. That's what we're called to do, and we want to get better at it, just as we
That's
hope
right.
y'all listening want to get better at it and serving the Lord. So, yeah, we're going to share a
Good.
few stories. We were talking about which ones, and I think we wanted to start with kind of one of the latest ones of when we were together last up in Nashville, and we'll share that one. And I think Wes has one, and I have another one. So
Yeah,
we'll just get into these here
let's
in
do
this
it.
podcast, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited, bro. It's gonna
So
be
what
good.
I love about Wes and just the community of the church we go to you go to the
Right.
the well in Huntsville. I go to the well in Scottsboro, but branches off each other, just down to earth, amazing, non-denominational churches, heart to help people. The fish fry in Chattanooga would be another good
Oh
story.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about
I'm gonna
that.
share that for my
Let's
ending
go.
on this episode instead. Yeah. But just a heart to serve,
Hmm.
people just say, "Hey, do you want to go do ministry on the streets in Nashville?" That's how this story started. We're
Yeah.
about to share. And Wes is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go. Jerry's gonna go." Diego went, and
Yep.
it's
Uh-huh.
like, "I want to go on that one. Let's go."
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were at a night of worship or something, and we were just all
Yeah,
talking afterwards, and we are like,
yeah.
yeah, let's go. And so yeah, we're like, all
And
right, we're going.
Steven, yeah, was it us five?
Yep, Stephen. Yeah, uh-huh. And Mr. Troy, did Mr. Troy go with us that night? I think Troy and Sam were with
Yeah,
us that
yeah,
night.
yeah. We had two cars. That's right.
Yeah, we had a good
Roy
group.
and his son, maybe
Yeah, Sam, I think.
Sam.
Yeah, it was
So there was
awesome.
7 of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
adds up quick. You start telling
It
people you're going,
does.
they say, I want to go. Let's go. That's why it's good
World
to be
travels.
surrounded by believers, guys.
That's right. That's right. But
So
yeah, we just are like, yeah, let's go. So
we take off to
Friday,
Nashville on
there we
what?
go.
Friday
It
and
was a
Saturday
Friday.
night?
Yeah, it was a
Friday
Friday.
night.
Yeah,
And we get caught in the worst
the worst
Huntsville
traffic.
traffic and wreck I've ever seen.
Horrible.
Like
Sitting
2 hour delay.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of a 3 hour drive, it's like 4.5.
Yeah.
But we make it. We skip dinner because we're just fired up to get down there. We
That's
ate some
right.
gas
We were
station.
ready.
Yeah. And the church has these signs that we bring and just kind of hold up. What are some of the signs, Wes?
Some of them are like free antidepressant hugs. Can I pray for you? You know, different things
Yeah,
like
free
that. That just,
encouragement.
yeah, free encouragement, just to kind of draw
Yeah,
people's attention, you know, and start
conversation
conversation.
starters. Yeah,
Yeah, and they work. They
yeah,
work.
free hugs, just simple.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and people
simple
love it.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
so people, you run into a lot of people that are really hurting, or
yeah,
because you're holding that sign, they're like, it strikes a chord with them,
yeah,
and they're like, why are you doing this? And you tell them, and then they just open up, and
yeah,
uh, it's like a come to Jesus moment. It's crazy.
yes. It's
And we
crazy.
literally had like a double come to Jesus
Yeah,
moment
we did.
together, and that's what we want to hit on tonight. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, any other just backstory to the story, Wes, you want to
No,
share?
I mean we were just down there, and so we're on the busy streets. There's people going just everywhere, and
Yeah,
so we're
we're on
just
the
kind of
main strip. Like
yeah.
they
I
shut
think
the
it's
street down,
Broadway. Broadway, I
Broadway.
think's the name of it.
They
And there's
shut it
just
down. It gets so busy.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane. There's people everywhere down there, and like Andrew was saying, a lot of times you go to places like that, and I've been to Mardi Gras many times, and it's like people are going to do that. They're going to drink, they're going to flesh out and do all the things, but it's because they're running from something or they're hurting and they're broken and they don't know how or what to fill it with, and they're filling it with the
yeah.
wrong
They're
things. And then
seeking joy, but
yeah,
it's been a little
exactly. Yeah.
empty. Yeah,
Yeah. And and we're down there in their environment and they bump into us, but they don't know, what they're really bumping into. And so there's been, gosh, so many stories, so many opportunities, just to share Jesus with people. And so this night
yeah.
we're,
And
we're
we're just
doing
hanging
that.
out. We're
Just
just good
hanging
old
out.
boys
Yeah. We're
hanging out.
just
Like we're
praying for
just there for
people.
them. We're praying for
Yeah.
people. We're trying to
Loving on them.
encourage people. We have no other mission but to share God's
No,
love with people.
just loving on people. People are
Yeah,
like, why are y'all doing this? Man, we love Jesus, we love you, and it just sparked up conversation, and it had been a good night. I mean, we had encountered a lot of people,
yeah,
and so Andrew, I don't remember we're all kind of walking around and check little groups and pods. I think you and Diego like split for
yeah.
a little bit, and then me and Jerry and I
We're
think
praying for people and
yeah,
laying hands on people, like praying for
hmm
real stuff they're dealing
yeah,
with.
yeah,
And
powerful stuff.
yeah, and then Wes and I were hanging out together for a little bit, and these two young girls come up to us, and uh,
Well, hey, before you get there, if you remember, you and I had walked around, and you were like, "Let's go stand back over here." We were having really good like conversations. You and Diego were, so I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let's go stand over there." So
we walked
sorry,
back
I had
over
to
to
get
that
that in there. Yeah,
spot.
so we went back to the spot. Yeah, so go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry I interrupted you.
yeah, and these two young girls come up to us, and you could tell they were there to party. They were
Mm-hmm.
dressed for it, and they were telling us they loved our buddy Steven. He's the
Yeah,
nicest dude ever, and Steven's a big old teddy bear. He's awesome.
yeah,
And they're like, "Why are y'all here?" And we're like, "We're just here loving on people, sharing Jesus, sharing what God's done for us because He's
mm-hmm.
that good. He's done so many good things for us. We just want to share His love with people, and we want people to know Him because He's
Yeah,
real. Like,
mm-hmm.
and Uh, do you remember exactly the
I
next?
just remember us getting into conversation. I mean, they were asking so many questions and just like, well, how do you know that he loves you? And how do what's he done in your life? So Andrew
Yeah.
you shared your story about your arm getting healed, your shoulder getting
Yeah,
healed.
my shoulder, Jesus
Yeah.
healing my shoulder.
And they
Yeah.
were mind blown. They couldn't believe it, like absolutely blown away. And then, like I said, the conversation was just good. They were super engaging, super open.
Yeah, they
And,
wanted
they
to
just,
hear, like, they
yeah,
were
they
soaking
wanted to
it
hear.
up. We were wanting to hear their side,
Yeah, so they were sharing, we were sharing, and we started sharing. Andrew shared his testimony with them and things they had been through, and the miracle of their two babies, and how that came to be, and they were just blown away by all that God had done, and then I ended up sharing my testimony about how
Yeah.
I'd walked through, a lot of loss in my life, losing
Yeah.
mom, losing son, but just that we still had the hope of Jesus, and, they were just blown away by it. And I'm pretty sure we talked to him for nearly an hour. I mean, it was like a 45-minute to an hour long
Oh, at
conversation,
least. Yeah, it really
at
was.
least.
I
And
don't even, time flew
I
by.
don't know. Yeah, it
It was
flew.
so
Yeah,
good.
because it was just such an
Yeah.
engaging conversation. And,
The coolest part
you
was they were like searching for the
big
Lord.
time, big
One of
time.
the
Yeah.
one of the girls, she had uh grew up with a mom who was battling
Hmm.
drugs and suicide her whole life. And
Yeah.
every day she came home as a little girl, she said that she was scared she was going to come home to a dead mom. It was just her and her
Hmm.
mom. Like, that's how she grew up. That's how she was raised.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't remember how long before we talked to her, but like maybe
Hmm. Yeah, it was
year
recent.
ago, a year ago or so, or 6 months ago, she said she did
Yeah.
come home to her
Yeah.
mom uh, being dead, which
Yeah.
is just terrible. And she had been
Yeah.
searching for anything, and she said she had tried Satanism. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And she said Satanism was not what people think it is. It was like being a good person,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. She was explaining it to us, but there was no fulfillment in it, and it was like
Right.
it was like Satan tricking you into thinking you're a good person to
Yeah.
yeah, it was
That
crazy.
everything's good. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, crazy. It was absolutely
Yeah.
crazy. And just
And
opening up like that, and they were just
yeah,
getting real. I mean, she was in tears, at one point. Both of them were in tears. Me and Andrew
yeah,
were in tears at
we're
one.
all four
It's
here.
just,
Yeah, God was
yeah,
giving us the
just,
words to say, and
yeah, it was
um,
powerful. It was so
I guess,
powerful.
was it like in the last month that she found church?
Yeah, she'd been going. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, kind of been going, and we recommended some churches because we knew some churches down there. And then the other girl that was there, really started opening up, and they were
Yeah,
like, "We needed this. Y'all don't know how bad we needed this. Like, we came. I
yeah.
remember them being like, we came down here to party and drink, but yet we're sitting here having a conversation about Jesus, and it was
They
very
were like, "This
fruitful."
is why we're here." Like, God
Yeah,
planned
yeah,
this
literally.
moment.
Yeah, and then
They
we were
had
like,
said
"That's why
that,
we're here."
and we're like,
That's why
"Yeah,
we
that's
came.
why."
Yeah, they couldn't believe it. They were like, "Y'all came from Huntsville and Scottsboro to meet us
Yeah,
here and
yeah.
talk with us," and it was powerful. And then I
It was so
remember,
powerful.
it
And
was so powerful.
I was gonna say, the one girl who had been going to church for like a month, whose mom had passed and everything, and I mean, you could just tell life was rough for both
Yeah,
of them. She said, "I've been trying to get my friend who was with her right there to come with her,
yeah.
but she don't want to." And but by the end of the conversation, yeah, you were gonna share something before I get to that.
No, no, no. You're good. No, you're good. I was just, yeah, no, no, no. You're good. Keep going.
We ended up like laying hands on, praying for them, praying for their past.
Yeah.
God gave both of us a word for them in that
Yes.
prayer. I remember your word, but I don't remember mine. Do you remember mine?
I don't, but I remember it was powerful. Like, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I
Your
know it hit her like right where, you know, what the Lord was doing in that
Oh,
moment?
yeah, I remember mine.
All right, come on.
Yeah, so we're praying for them. They gave their life to Jesus right then and there,
Yeah,
both of them.
yeah,
Like, started believing in Jesus during that.
yeah.
I
Powerful.
remember asking him in the middle of prayer, you know,
Yeah.
and it was so cool. And then God gave me a word for the girl who grew up in all that tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, uh, he'll restore the years that have been lost,
Yeah.
that the moth and vermin have destroyed. That
Mm.
verse, I
Yeah.
got to speak that over her. It's like all those years of struggle and fighting, he's going to restore to her. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so cool. So cool.
Powerful.
And
And then
then
right
we were
after
like
that,
done praying, and then you were like,
yeah,
I got a word for you too.
yeah, I was like, I got a word, and I just felt like the Lord wanted me to tell her that she wouldn't end up like her mom did. She was so worried about that, and
She was so
um,
worried like that.
she was so worried. Like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to do that. And the Lord just was like, tell her that she won't. She won't end up like that. She won't. Be like that. She'd live a long life, and
Yeah.
just got to speak life into these two
Yeah.
girls, and they were just blown away by the end of it. I mean, just completely, just like, y'all are the best. And it was so cool that they're coming there with an agenda. We came there with an agenda, but we bumped into each other. And when we bumped into each other, the Holy Spirit just began to take over. And it was so cool because sometimes you think like, oh man, well, I didn't get to really minister to them like I wanted to. There's so many people down there. It might have just been a quick hug and, hey, a Jesus loves you. And that's what they got from Stephen, a quick hug and a Jesus loves you. And they
Yeah.
were on their way. But it was like it softened them up to prepare their hearts for the sowing. Stephen and them sowed it, and then Andrew and I sowed it,
Yeah.
but we also were watering it and pouring into it, and it was just
Yeah.
so cool that first encounter kind of opened them up, and then they came over to us because they had encountered Stephen, and he was so friendly and nice, and then they
Yeah.
came
And he
over to
didn't,
us.
we're not selling nothing. We're not pushing
No,
nothing
we're
on
just loving
anybody.
Jesus, loving
Yeah.
people, and it was just so
Probably
cool.
confused him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it was so cool that, like, even in that environment, sometimes we think like, oh man, it's such a horrible play, alcohol and all that. That's like, hey, God will move wherever He's invited, wherever He's welcome, and man, He was
Yeah.
moving that night on their
Yeah.
lives. I mean, it was powerful. It was so
Yeah.
powerful and so cool.
It was. It was amazing. And we pray for him, and we hope the best things are happening for him.
Yeah, and it encouraged us. Like, that
Yeah.
encouraged my faith. Me and Andrew were just blown away. Like, man, this is amazing. Like we get to do this. We got to share what Jesus has done in our lives, and it encouraged them. And then because of that, it encouraged our faith to want to do it more. We had some really good encounters the rest of the night, and it was powerful. I mean, it's crazy what happens when you just say, Lord, this is what you called us to do. And some people are like, well, I'm not a very good speaker. I don't know if I could do that. I'm not. Hey, He just says go into all the world, and that's what we did. We just went. We didn't know what we were going to say. We had no idea. Just in the moment, we were just listening to the Lord and just having a conversation. I think sometimes we overcomplicate evangelism and like, oh, I can't do it. If you can talk, you can do it. If you got a
Yeah.
mouth, you can do it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just be led by His Spirit, and that's all we did that night, was just being led by His Spirit, and He used us mightily, and it was awesome. It was absolutely powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
It was awesome. So, y'all, like Wes said, don't be afraid to get out there. Just go when you feel
Just
uh,
go.
like you should. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've started really, focused, like Andrew was saying. Our churches are very, evangelism driven, and we love to go into the community. We love to do that, and I've gone on a Mardi Gras mission trip where we go down during Mardi Gras on the streets and preach the gospel since I was like 19 years old, and just love that. I've always had a heart for evangelism, and then finally one time we got back, and I'm like, why are we not going like in between that, like, why is the only time we're doing this when we're going to Mardi Gras? It's like, we got
Yeah.
to change that. There's lost people in Huntsville, and and all that. So the Lord just really started putting a burden on us to go down in Huntsville. And you're like, downtown Huntsville? And, at first I was like, I don't know what it looks like, but we're going to go to downtown Huntsville and we're going to minister to people. So we started going with, a few people from church, and man, it really opened your eyes to be like, wow, people here are broken and in need of a savior in Huntsville, Alabama. Sometimes we think that it's only, oh man, they're partying and they're doing all this, that in Nashville and New Orleans and all that. But there's people in your community where you live that are doing the very same thing. But what's crazy is that they're doing it every single week. Like, we've gone and we've met people and they're there every single week trying to fill a void. And it's really cool because now we're getting to build relationship with them. We're exchanging phone numbers. We've had them come to church with us since we've been going out, and it's just been a really powerful time. Even got favor. So there's a strip, pretty much it was like a mini Nashville, like there's bars on each side of the street, and they close it down, but it's much more smaller. But man, like, we've gotten favor with like the bouncers over there. They love when we come down there. They come out and hug us, thank us for being there. One of them told us, like, man, it's so smooth when you guys are down here, and they love it, man. They come out. We had one guy that was messing with us one night, and the bouncer come out and he was like, hey, if you don't like it, you can leave. They are doing good work out here. It was like taking up for us. So like, even that, man, like, we're getting to minister to people like that and building a relationship. And so we're down there one night, and we had been down there for a while, and we were actually leaving. Like, we're hitting the parking lot and getting ready to leave. And we had our signs that night, free antidepressant hugs. And, been ministering to people, praying with people, and it's been a really good night. So we're in the parking lot and we're leaving, and we parked in a different place than what we normally park. We kind of park in different places down there, but this night, this parking lot was open. So we parked in the parking lot, and so we get up there and we're getting ready to leave. And this girl sees our signs from a little bit of a distance, and we could tell she was reading it. So we're like, all right, come on, we got one more. So we go over, and, she's like, I need one of those. And so we were all hugging her and just talking with her, just like we are, just making conversation. And the same thing happens. And she just really starts opening up, and she starts sharing, how she's been struggling with depression. And it's, sometimes she doesn't know, if she's going to wake up the next day, and it's just really hard. And they're just really into a deep, deep conversation with this girl. And we're just ministering to her. We got a group of like 6 or 7 of us, and everybody's just kind of, speaking when the Lord's giving them something and sharing. And so, we probably spent like 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes with this girl. And by the end of it, prayed over her and just prayed that God would reveal himself to her, that he would take away her depression. And it was just a powerful time. And then, didn't think much more about it. We'd gone back and forth a few times. And then I get a text, like probably 6 months later, 5 or 6 months later, from Pastor Jerry in Scottsboro. And Jerry goes out with us. He does an awesome job. And so he was with us that night. He sends me a podcast, and he's like, go to this mark. It was like 22-minute mark, and listen. So I'm like, okay. So start listening to this podcast. And it's this girl. She wasn't from Huntsville. I believe she was from Coleman, Alabama, is where she lives. And so it's her on a podcast, and she's talking on a podcast, and she's just talking, about her faith journey, and, how she was in depression. She was in the darkest place of her life, and, just really down. And she says, I was in Huntsville, Alabama for a gig, and I ran into this group of people after the concert, and they had free antidepressant hugs. And she talks about how we loved on her, how we prayed for her, how we spoke into her life. And she said that was the moment that her faith journey really began, and shared that really what God did that night. And she's got baptized since then. She's living for the Lord, and it was just incredible to hear that short little time that we had with her made such a big impact. And to hear, that she's been baptized and she's living for the Lord and she's doing better and all that stuff, all because we were just down there. We were where we were supposed to be, and the Lord had us there for that purpose. And it was just another powerful story of just, in our town where we live, and we bump into this girl that's in desperate need of Jesus, and didn't know. I mean, she didn't look like she was in the pits of, didn't look like she was upset and depressed, but people have a good way of masking that and hiding it. And she definitely had been doing that. And like I said, we got to just love on her that night, pour into her that night. And then just to hear that was just like, oh my goodness, like, yes, this is what we're doing
Yes.
this for. This is for His glory. To love on people, to share our stories, and to just be His hands and feet. And so I just want to encourage you guys, don't wait on somebody else to do it. Don't wait. If you feel the nudge, man, just go and do it. And if you want to be a part, reach out to us. We would love to take you to go do this with us, because we do it pretty regularly, as much as we can. And like I said, we're getting ready to go to Mardi Gras, and I'm stoked about that. And it's not too late. If you guys want to get involved with that, you can definitely reach out to us, and we can get you information on that. But the biggest thing is just to go. I
How
think
they
that's
going to
like the
reach out?
biggest
How they
thing.
going to reach out, Wes?
They can reach us on either our Instagram, on God of Miracles
Yep.
Instagram, or they can hit me on my Instagram.
Westlanders.
Wes Landers is me, yeah, on the Instagram. So yeah, reach
Yeah.
out, and yeah, we would love to chat, love to talk with you guys about
Yeah.
that,
Just
and
ask us.
yeah, just ask us, yeah. But like I said, the biggest thing is just getting past the go. Like, oh man, how much? Just go, just go.
Yep.
That's half the
Yep.
battle. So
Just do it, and
just do it.
yeah, let God lead you. It's
That's
really
right.
that simple. The words, the Bible says He will give you the words to say when the
That's
time
right.
comes, and not to worry
And
about
he
it.
does. And
And
he
He
does.
does.
Like, that's
Yeah.
so true. Like, so true. I didn't have a clue what I was going to say. Me and Andrew
No,
didn't have
you
it
don't know what
planned out
situation you're going to run into.
what you were going
You
to
have no
say.
idea. Yeah.
No, just be
Yeah.
led by Spirit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good, man. So
And
good.
thinking about doing like street ministry by the bars and in the so-called dirty places or dark places, a lot of
Yeah,
drugs going on, and Jesus went and did the same thing during His time on earth. He ate with tax collectors, the worst
that's
of them,
right.
and He was caught per se, uh, just in the middle of sinners. And
Hmm.
He told the Pharisees, uh, it's
The
not
well that need the
the
doctor.
well that need the doctor, but the sick. Yeah.
Sick. Yep,
So
it's true.
just go where you feel led. Um,
That's right. Be led by
yeah,
Spirit.
yeah, I love that story, Wes. It's so cool to see a return
Yeah,
and
so
fruit
cool.
come from what you've sown, and
Yeah,
it's always awesome when that comes back around. I love it. That's
absolutely.
so powerful. Just that little bit of time with her changed the trajectory of a
Yeah, made a
life.
huge impact. Yeah, you
Yeah,
never know, man. You never know what people are so close, I mean, and the word talks about it,
yeah,
the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few, and like, man, that harvest, sometimes it's that low hanging fruit that's just ready, it's just
mm,
waiting on somebody to come be
yeah,
a laborer, and yeah, it's so
yeah.
powerful. So
I,
awesome.
I was going to share a different story, but at the beginning we talked about the Chattanooga trip and
Yeah.
the fish fries. So
Yeah.
Monty, the owner of Thump Jail, had on his heart.
Feel the thump.
Feel the thump because those crappie. He had on his heart a while back, like he just wanted to do a fish fry for the homeless. Like just take crappie, set up a fryer, fry fish. And I might have came to him saying I wanted to do something similar, and our goals lined up because I think I had just given some fish to some businesses in town, like the
Nice.
auto place who works on my truck, Bond's Appliance, who we get washer and dryer from. Like I just took some crappie around town one day, but goals aligned. We talked to Scottsboro. We're like, hey Jerry, do you or anybody else want to go to Chattanooga with us and uh, fry fish for the homeless? Like that's how basic it was. And I'm going there to fish the Toyota tournament, and it lined up to where we could do it during that week. So I was going to be out there already, which was nice because I'm traveling a ton. So Jerry's like, uh, yeah, and we can see if anybody else wants to go. Like 12 of us end up showing up. So
Let's go.
I'm driving through downtown Chattanooga with my wrap boat, my wrap truck, all the sponsor logos, and Jerry had already scoped it out. There's like two different tent cities in Chattanooga with homeless
Oh
people.
wow.
I didn't know it was that large of a homeless population, but
Hmm.
yeah, it was sad. And we pull up outside the fence of this one tented area, and I just pull my wrap truck and boat up. I start playing some worship music out of my boat.
Yeah.
and we're just hanging out. Monty's there. He drove his uh, truck up, and he starts getting out the deep fryer. Jerry and a bunch of others took the church Sprinter van, and they start pulling out stuff. We set the table, a couple white tables up, and they're all prepping food. I brought all the fish, Wes.
Let's go.
There's a lot of fish, and we start frying it, and people start coming out, and then more people start coming, and we got a line to eat fish. People talking at the boat, just talking to people. We start praying for people when we hear needs, and people are loving the fish, having the best time. And when I say a line, there's a line of like 10 to 20 people the whole time. We're there for like 2 hours and
Man.
frying fish. We run out of fish as like the last. We got like 4 pieces left over at the end of this,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
crazy because everybody that wanted to eat ate.
Got to eat. That's
I'm
awesome.
like, wow, I brought the perfect amount. That worked out great. Thank
Yeah.
God. Caught
That's
it all in
cool.
this big cooler. Monty fried every single piece in his big old Cajun cooker. But we're just loving on people. Couple big takeaways. There was this black dude, probably like, I don't know, 45 or 50, who was really asking me some deep questions, and ended up opening up to me and said, man, I just got out of prison last week. I've been I don't want to say too much, but he's been a gang member basically. I don't want to say anything to like tell who he was. He's been a gang member his whole life, like deep in it, and he found the Lord like 3 months ago while he was in prison. Probably
Come
prison
on.
ministry. So if you're doing that, keep doing it, people.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
And he had gotten out last week. He had this little clunky car, and he opened up to me, told me all this, a little bit about his life and just some major events in his life. And I got to pray for him. I laid hands on him and prayed for him, prayed for direction, thanking the Lord for saving him and that he'd lead him, providing guidance, just all these things. And he was tearing up and crying. He's a big dude, like you don't want to mess with this dude. And, and it was great. It was great. And then he said, hey man, I don't want you to do it around all these people, but if you have any gas money, that would help out a ton. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, was he just kind of opening up, try to get like money out of me or something? I'm like, I don't think he was. But anyway, he was in line to eat. He got some food, and I kind of prayed to the Lord, and I just decided I was going to give him the $60 cash I had. And he's getting ready to take off. He had a buddy with him, and he came back up to me by himself, and he said, thank you for the food and stuff. And he was just encouraged, and I shook his hand with $60 in it. He didn't know. And he knew that cash was in there, and he gave me the biggest hug. And then he went and got in his car and sat down. He started it, and his door opened again, and he walked back over to me bawling, like, because I gave him that much cash, and just gave me the biggest hug. And dude, he was bawling in my arms, man. So God was opening doors for him, and really cool, just to minister to a dude you wouldn't want to mess with on the street.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So God moved big time there. And so we get done. People pray for people a lot. Like, I don't know. There's 12 of us there. I would say, let's just say 8 of us probably prayed for at least 3 or 4 or 5 people. So a lot of prayers going up to the Lord. Take care of people. It was awesome.
Man.
we get done, and Monty's like, "Yeah, I got the head count." He either said 106 or 116 people we fed, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's a bunch. And there's like 6 water bottles left or something. There's like 2 of these. This one girl made these Ziploc bags full of like a side, like snacks, like a few little pieces of candy, some a granola bar and some chips or something. And she stopped us and she said, "Were you giving those out to everybody?" And they said, yeah, pretty much everybody took one, Jerry said. And she said, "I only made 65 of those." And then Jerry, I don't know if it was Jerry or somebody else said, "Now that it was Jerry," he said, I think he said, "Now that you say that, I only brought 3 packs of waters," and everybody took a water. And that's 24 per pack. So,
Yeah.
uh, we didn't pay
Wow.
attention, but God was providing. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
Come on.
That's all I can say.
Wow. That's
Crazy, dude.
amazing.
It's like
Yeah.
the feeding of the 5,000. They just kept
Yeah.
feeding people and they had
Just kept
leftovers.
feeding them. Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, that's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
man.
That's so
Crazy.
cool.
So
It's
cool.
crazy what he'll do, man, when we're obedient. Just
It
walk in what
is.
he's called us to do.
It is.
Wow.
And it was one of my pre-fishing practice days. I just took a break from fishing,
Yeah.
practicing for the tournament, and
You just went to catch some men instead of some fish
yeah,
that day.
just
Fish are men, baby.
right. No, it was incredible. It was good. We need to do it again. I want to do it again. It was so
Yeah,
powerful.
I want to go. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. We're going to plan
Yep.
it. Make it happen. Man, so awesome. Man, I'm fired up now. I'm ready.
I know I'm
I'm
fired
like,
up
let's
from all the
go.
stories. Me too.
Man, I
Yeah.
hope you guys are fired up and encouraged and just like, man, I can do this. Me and Andrew aren't anything special. There's nothing special about us, just 2 guys that love Jesus and love people. And, we've seen him move because we've been willing just to go, and say, Lord, here I am, send me, I'll go. And, it's crazy what he will do because we're obedient, and he will use us in ways that was like, how did I know to say that? Well, when you're walking in
Yeah.
the Spirit and you're being led by him, he'll do that, man. He wants to use you. He wants to use your mouth. He wants to use your testimony, and you'll never know. And there's been so many times that I've talked to people in the streets that are going through similar situations to what I've gone through, but they don't have any hope. They're lost, they're depressed, and all this. And it's like, hey, I've been where you are, but now I have joy, I have hope, I have peace. And you get to explain to them why you have the joy, why you have the peace. And man, it lights up their world. And it's like, man, they have hope again, and it's
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
cool when it clicks, that's like, wow, like
Yeah.
God is real, and I'm hearing somebody that's walked through what I'm walking through,
Exactly.
and they've got hope, they've got faith, and they made it, so
When
it's just
you
so cool.
put your hope in anything in this world, it's going to fail you
That's right.
every
That's
time.
right. Every
Every
time.
time. And when you give them when you share with them an eternal hope, it's
Yeah.
refreshing. We take it for granted way too much.
Yeah. You're
Uh,
right.
the joy and the love and the hope that we have,
Yeah.
and people need it.
People need it, man. Especially now. People need Jesus. Everywhere you go,
Yep,
people need him. And we get to do that. We get to be the carriers and distribute it
that's right.
everywhere we go.
That's right. It's an amazing feeling. If you haven't
It
done it, get out
is.
there.
Get out and do it. That's right. That's right. Well, hey, I hope you guys have been encouraged. Like I said, I'm ready to go out right now in the how
Yeah,
cold is it there? Let's see. It's like
it's supposed to
12
be.
degrees.
Yeah, it's
It's
supposed to be 10
freezing,
tonight.
but I'm ready. It's freezing tonight,
So
but
cold.
I'm ready to go. Hope you guys are staying warm. Man, this has been the coldest week we've had in a while. It's cold. It
Yeah,
is cold. Very cold. Did the twins enjoy the snow?
they
Was
loved
that
it.
their first snow? First snow?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, let's
Everybody was
go.
there.
Oh man, I was sledded out by day 3. I'm like, all right,
Nice.
no
We
more.
put
I'm sore.
We put ours in like this clear tote, and we drilled holes in it, and
Yes.
we pulled them around so they couldn't fall out.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
pull them
That's
around the
awesome. Yeah, it
backyard.
was fun. Oh yeah, it was a blast. But well, hey everybody, again, I hope you guys have been encouraged by this episode to know that you can go share your faith. You can do it, and it makes a difference. And like I said, if you're interested, you don't know where to get involved, hit us up on the Instagram, shoot us a message. We would love to help you guys out with that. Any questions, we would love to help. We don't, like Andrew said, we don't have all the answers, but we know the answer, and it's Jesus. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep sharing him with people. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
See you, everybody.
See ya.